Here's a quick tutorial on a few ways to ruin your life. Step 1. Be a people pleaser. This is the first step to self-destruction. Begin with nurturing an obsessive concern for the opinions of others to the point where it paralyzes you. Constantly juggle everyone's expectation while quietly bearing your own. Never express your true thoughts or feelings. Why risk the discomfort of being honest when you can just blend into the background, changing colors to match the expectations of those around you? Let the fear of letting people really know you become your guiding star. After all, being understood or, heaven forbid, accepted for who you are is a risk far too great for the ambitious people pleaser. Make it your top priority to never upset anyone by keeping your own thoughts, feelings, and wants to yourself. Avoid conflict at all costs. It's much easier to be everyone's cup of tea than face a little tension. Think of your voice as unnecessary, your needs as irrelevant, and the approval of others as the ultimate prize. As you walk this path, let the hidden anger from always saying yes and holding back your true self quietly boil inside you. Think of it as a fire that never goes out, slowly eating away at who you are. This isn't just anger, it's a clear sign of how deeply you're dedicated to pleasing everyone, no matter the cost to yourself. Step 2. Blame the world. Why accept responsibility when you can just point fingers at everything and everyone else? You missed that job promotion? Clearly the stars are misaligned, or maybe your boss just doesn't get your unique approach to minimal effort. It rained today, and naturally that's why you're late, because of course the weather is out to get you. Embrace the role of the eternal spectator in the theater of your own life. Sit back, relax, and watch your life scene play out as if you're just there to enjoy the popcorn. Think of yourself as someone watching a movie, detached and slightly amused because you're sure you don't play any role in how the story goes. Why bother trying to steer the story differently when you're convinced someone else holds the controls? Picture life as a game where you're just watching from the side. Whenever something surprising or new happens, you just shrug and say, wow, that's crazy. As if there's no way you could make a difference even if you tried. The beauty of it is you never get blamed when things go wrong. Sure, you might not get anywhere you actually want to go, but hey, at least you're not the one to blame. After all, it's much easier to critique the journey from the backseat, especially when you're convinced you're not allowed to drive. It's a liberating feeling, really, to know that no matter what happens, you have a prepackaged excuse ready to go. And that excuse is, it's not me, it's the world. Step 3. Constantly consume. Why bother creating anything when you can just keep consuming? Spend all day scrolling endlessly, watching show after show, and gobbling up celebrity gossip like it's essential for your well being. Let your phone become a natural extension of your hand. Always there, always on, even when there's no reason to check it. Silence and boredom, that's the enemy. Drown them out with the constant buzz of the internet. The thought of sitting alone with your own thoughts or engaging in real life conversations, that's too hectic. It's better to occupy your brain with what others have produced. They've done the thinking so you don't have to. I remember shopping, you see those items in your cart, you might not need it or even want it, but buy it anyway. It's not about the joy of the items itself, but the thrill of acquisition. Keep up with every trend, no matter how fleeting, and every piece of throwaway culture. This isn't just consumption, it's a way of life. You're not necessarily filling voids, you're staying ahead of the curve. Whenever you're in doubt, always consume. Deep dive into the sea of consumption where every purchase, every view, every swipe adds another layer to your shield against reality. And if you ever start to feel the weight of all you've accumulated, remember there's an app for that too. Step 4. Eliminate your goals. Drift through life without a clear direction, like a leaf blown by the wind, free from the need to have a purpose. After all, goals are just something society made up to make you chase after a sense of success that's hard to catch. By getting rid of your goals, you free yourself from the stress of trying to improve and the letdown of not meeting expectations. Embrace the art of wandering without a map, for you are free to go nowhere confidently in the vast desert of aimlessness. Avoid the race of daily improvement altogether and you can't lose. I mean, after all, you can't be disappointed by where you end up if you never cared where you were going in the first place. Stick to the cozy cocoon of inaction, where your dreams are always on tomorrow's to-do list, and someday is the best and safest day to start anything. Make rationalizations your best friend. Too tired, too busy, too young, too old. There's always a good reason to do nothing. I mean, inaction is a slow death, but you know that already. It's not procrastination, it's just strategic delay. Step 5, be pessimistic. Become the master at seeing everything in shades of grey. Always complain and bitch about the things you need to do. Continually transform a minor inconvenience into a full-blown catastrophe. Constantly sharpen that skill of yours that weaves negativity into any topic. Hold on to the saying, if nothing changes, nothing changes, like it's your shield. I mean, why bother trying if things might not work out? Let doing nothing prove your point that nothing good ever comes your way. Sink into the loop of doing nothing, proving yourself right about things not changing, and then doing absolutely nothing about it again. Get known for sucking the energy out of every chat with your never ending complaint about how pointless everything is. Be that friend that everyone's scared to ask, "How are you?" because they know they're in for a long, gloomy speech. They'll definitely regret asking if they ever forget why they stopped asking you in the first place. So, take on your role as the expert at ruining the mood, the one who can spot a problem in every good situation. Step 6, overthink everything. Get lost in your head, making every little choice a big deal. Replace action with endless deliberation. Go over those awkward moments from your past in your head, thinking about what you said, what you didn't, and what you wish you could say now. Let the tiny, insignificant details become your biggest obstacle. Can't decide on what to wear, what to eat, or what message to send. Perfect, you're doing it right. Convince yourself that this marathon of mind games is productive. I mean, after all, thinking feels a lot like doing something, except of course, nothing actually gets done. So keep thinking, overthinking, and thinking some more. Action is kind of overrated when you can just live 1,000 lives in the confines of your own mind. Step 7, avoid change and criticism. Create a comfortable bubble around yourself where you resist any change and criticism. Associate with people who share your views so you do not have to deal with discomfort from listening to different opinions. Change requires effort, adaptation, and the acknowledgement that you are not perfect, which can be overwhelming. I mean, it's safer to just stick with the way things have always been. Build an echo chamber so compelling that you never have to confront a thought that challenges your beliefs. I mean, why bother with growth when you can just stay in blissful ignorance? Let your ideas and beliefs become fossilized. After all, if you're not being challenged, it must mean that you are right. Cast judgment on those who dare to live differently from you. Be quick to shut down any discussion on matters you're convicted on, especially ones you're emotional about. Let your ego be the shield against any form of personal development. Why learn and grow when you can just bask in the illusion of already knowing it all? So, stay snug in your bubble where you remain the unchallenged ruler, forever protected from the unsettling winds of change and growth. Step 8, isolate yourself. Assume that no one understands you and decide that solitude is your best companion. I mean, ignore calls, skip social gatherings, and convince yourself that these are mainstream distractions. Convince yourself that you're better off alone. Retreat into your shell where you're safe from the opinions of others and free to marinate in your own thoughts. Let your world shrink until it fits within the four walls of your room, with algorithms as your only window out. It'll feed you a loop of the familiar until new ideas and experiences become foreign concepts. So, skip trying to understand or be understood by others and embrace the quiet isolation. Now, in closing, I see my reflection in every single one of these steps. I mean, I'm not here to preach or pretend I have it all figured out. I try to catch myself whenever I start slipping into these patterns or when I'm drowning in my own emotional lows. And my way to snap out of it is to throw in a bit of humor and sarcasm. It's an anti pep talk I give myself when I'm being a whiny baby about things. And I just wanted to share that with you guys today. Thank you for listening. And if you enjoyed this episode, check out the other ones in the library. Follow the page on Spotify and the YouTube channel. I'll leave the link in the description below. I recently just created a TikTok account for the show, and it's at the Occasional Rant Pod. Give the show a follow on there too. I can't wait to connect with you on another episode. Take care and see you later.